Hello everyone, we welcome you all on day 3 Fit India School Week. Instruction for the class. You can stop anytime if you are not feeling good, feeling breathless, tired or injured. You should perform the activity under the supervision of your parents, grandparents, elder sibling. Make sure your floor is not slippery and you should have enough space to perform the activity. Participants should be in proper kit, track pant or short t-shirt and shoes. Do not use any headphones or earphones while performing the activity. Keep your water bottle and towel handy. Keep your mic on mute and camera switched on. Any query to be clarified in the chat box. Keep taking your photos and videos during the activity and share them with your concerned teachers. Keep a pen and notebook with you. this activity, we have to use three fingers, index, middle, and ring finger. First, show index and middle finger of both hands, and then show ring finger and middle finger of both hands. Do the activity slow to fast. In this activity, rotate the hand front side up and down clockwise and anti-clockwise. Note the palm of one hand is horizontal and other hand is vertical. Do the activity slow to fast. In this activity, we have to use three fingers, that is index, middle, and little finger. First, show index and middle finger of both hands, and then show little finger and index finger of both hands. Do the activity slow to fast. straight our hands and touch the shoulder alternately by crossing the hands. Do the activity slow to fast. In this activity, we have to use both hands to perform the activity. Tap on your head with left hand and roll on stomach with right hand at a time. Reverse the activity. Do this activity slow to fast. In this activity, move the shoulder front and back by moving hands alternately. Do the activity slow to fast. This activity we have to use little finger and thumb of both hands by moving left to right and right to left direction. Do the activity slow to fast. In this activity, we have to tap on thighs, clap, and touch the nose and ear alternately with cross hand. Do the activity slow to fast.
Good morning students, I am Vivek Mitra and today we will do some mate in one puzzles. So we will just share the answers of the first two puzzles for demonstration and then I will give you 10 seconds for every puzzle you can solve it or else I'll share the answers. So first one you can see knight goes to h4. Okay, here also it's white to move and mate in one move. So it's very simple, the knight can go to g6 and it's a checkmate. Right, so I'll give you 10 seconds for every correct answer now. Good morning students, I am Vivek Mitra and today we will learn about the basics of chess. As we can see, the board has been set up here. So whenever we set up a board, we will always have a white square on the right hand side for both players and correspondingly there will be a black square on the left hand side for both players. The notation, that is the square names, the file and ranks, always starts from white's left hand side and there are 64 squares on a chessboard, 32 are white and 32 are black. So after every white square there's a black square and correspondingly after every black square there's a white square in every rank and every file. And the diagonals are all of the same color as you can see here. So let us start with the first standing line here. The first standing line from white's left hand side is called the A file. This is called a standing line, a vertical line or a file in the language of chess. And then we have the B file. This is the next vertical line, or the standing line as we call it, or the B file. And then we have the C file being highlighted with the black pawns, and then we have the D file being highlighted with the white pawns. So this side of the board, that is the ABCD, these four files, this half of the board is called the queen side, and the other half, that is the EFGH files, are called the king side of the board. So now let us talk about the ranks. So we start with the first rank from the bottom. So this is being highlighted with the black pawns, and this is called the first rank. And then we have the second rank here being highlighted with the white pawns, and then again we have the third rank being highlighted with the black pawns, and then we have the fourth rank being highlighted with the white pawns. So ranks are basically the sleeping lines or the horizontal lines, and they are called ranks, and they start from the first number, that is numbered 1 to 8. So files are numbered from left to right of the screen, and they are numbered as A to H, and the ranks are numbered as 1 to 8, and they are ranked, they start from the bottom of the screen towards the top. So this is how the file and ranks are defined in chess. So let us come to the name of the squares now. Now let us talk about the first square on the bottom left, as we have put a black pawn here. So this is on the A file and the first rank. So this is called A1. And if I talk about this square, this is called B2. If I talk about this square, this is called C3. And if I talk about this square, this is called D5. So it's very simple. You just line up the file and the rank, and you'll get the name of the square. Let us talk about this one. So this is on the E file and on the 7th rank. So this is called E7. Let us talk about this square here. This is on the G file and the 8th rank. So this is called G8. Now this one is H5 being on the H file and the 5th rank. This is G2 on the G file and the 2nd rank. So whenever we line up the rank and the file, we get the name of the square, and we always have the file name first and then the name of the rank. So we call this one A1, and this one as B2, C3, this one will be D4, E5, so on and so forth. Right, so this is how the squares are named. So let us talk about the diagonals first. So here we talk about the longest diagonal, that is A1H8, and if we talk about this diagonal, we call it A8H1. We generally can also call it H1A8, but we keep an alphabetical order, so we call it A8H1 rather than calling it H1A8, and this one is A1H8. So these are the two longest diagonals on the chessboard. So let us talk about some other diagonals here. So this one, which I have highlighted with the two white pawns, this one is called A2G8. And if we talk about this diagonal here, this is A4E8. If we talk about this one, this is A6C8. If we talk about this diagonal, this is A7G1. If I talk about this diagonal, this is A5E1, so on and so forth. So now we have learned how to set up the board, the number of squares, the file, the ranks, the name of the squares, and the diagonals as well. Right, so we are very much clear about how the notation part is taken care of. So let us start with some pieces first, and before that we can learn about the center and semicenter. So these four squares, that is D4, D5, E5 and E4, these four are called the center of the board, as this is at the middle of the chessboard, right? And now all the squares, I am highlighting the squares in black now with the black pawns. So all the squares which are touching the center squares is called the semi-center of the board. So it's very important to control the center and semi-center, because all your pieces can move around from these squares, and you can control the entire board if you are controlling these squares, that is the center and semi-center. Okay, so let us talk about the basic idea in a game of chess, that is to checkmate your opponent king. So chess is basically like a game, a war game, where you have two sets of armies, the black pieces and the white pieces, and their role is to protect their own king and to checkmate the opponent king. So let us take some examples here. So let us start with this example. We will put a white king here, and we can put the black king here, and let us put the black queen somewhere in this position. Let us say this is the position. Now the very first thing that we need to learn is check. Okay, so let us say the white queen is on H6 now, and it moves to G5. So there's a check because the queen is attacking the white king which is on g1, and the white king is going to get captured in the next move. So this is called check. Okay, so similarly, if the queen comes to c1, this is also a check. Okay, and if the queen comes to g6, if the queen comes to any square wherein it is able to reach this square which is g1 in the next move, say for example if the queen comes to a7, this is also a check. Okay, so and there are three ways of getting rid of a check. Like for example, let us talk about this check where the queen is giving a check from a7. If there's a white piece which is able to capture this queen, like there's a knight and this knight can easily capture this queen, so this is called getting rid of the check by capturing. Okay, so let us say this is not possible, so we put the queen back on a7, and let us say that there's no particular piece which is capturing the black queen. So we have one piece, say for example there's a knight which is on this square here on h3, and now since there's no piece which is capturing the queen, we can block the check. How to block the check? We just bring the knight between the queen which is attacking our king and block the check. This is called blocking method of getting rid of a check. Now the queen can capture this piece and give a direct check. Now you see that there is no piece on the board, so blocking is not possible. Capturing is also not possible because there is no white piece on the board. So the only option the white king has is to move away. So the king can move away to h1 here, and this is called getting rid of a check by moving. So there are three basic ways of getting rid of a check as we have just seen here. The first method is capturing the piece which is giving you a check, as we captured the black queen, and the second method is to block the check as we saw here, and the third method is to move away. So capturing, blocking and moving, these are the three ways of getting rid of a check. And now let us talk about a checkmate. What is a checkmate? As we have seen a number of checks here, so now from this position, if it's black to move and the black queen moves to g2, this is a check and there's no way the white king can get rid of the check. As we have seen that cutting is not possible, blocking is also not possible, and moving is also not possible. The king doesn't have any safe square and is going to get captured. So here we see that in this position, this is a checkmate. Alright, so now, so as we have seen that this is a checkmate. So now we have seen that there's a check and checkmate. Now there's one more concept which is called a stalemate. Now what is that? We will study it in detail. So let us say that the queen is here on a2. Now from a2, the queen can directly move to g2 and complete a checkmate. And if it moves to h2, then it's just a check and the white king can go ahead and capture the queen, and then it will be a draw because now both the kings cannot challenge each other. Okay, and this position will be a draw. So we just go back to the earlier position as we have seen here. And there's one more thing that can happen, that for example, we have seen that this is going to be a draw. If the queen comes to h2, it will get captured. g2 is a checkmate, and if in case the queen comes to f2, then what happens? Now you see that in this position, the white king is not in check, but the king cannot go anywhere. It doesn't have any legal move on the board, and it's not going to get captured in the next move. So in this position, this is called a stalemate. A stalemate is basically a draw. Now the scoring system in chess is very simple. Whenever you win, say white wins the game, the score is written as 1-0. That means 1 for white and 0 for black. Whenever black wins, the score is written as 0-1. That is 0 for white and 1 for black. And whenever it's a draw, the score is marked as half-half or 0.5 to each player. So stalemate is basically a draw, as we have just seen here. So let us see some more examples of stalemate. Say from this position, basically we have to block the king from coming to any of the two squares, that is h2 and g1. So if we can block both the squares, then it will be stalemate, like we can do it in this example. And let us see if we can do it from any other square. Okay, let us just change the position a bit, and let us say that the king is here. Okay, now it's very simple to do a stalemate. You can do a checkmate now from two squares, as you can see. You can do a checkmate from h2, you can do a checkmate from g2, both the positions are checkmate and black wins. Okay, check is again very simple. You can give a check from a1, you can give a check from b1, you can give a check from c1 in this case. Okay, you can also go all the way up to b7 and give a check. And if we are supposed to do a stalemate, then we can do it in a number of ways. We can do a stalemate by moving to f2, we can do a stalemate by moving to d4, and we can also do a stalemate by moving to b6. The basic idea is you have to block the g1 square where the black king is supposed to move. So if you can do that, then it will be a stalemate. Stalemate is again a draw. So this is a very important concept, the difference between check, checkmate and stalemate, and it's very important to understand the difference and to understand the point system as well. So I hope you have understood all these concepts, and now we all set and all ready to do some mate in one puzzle. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy the puzzles now, and I hope you have learned whatever we have taught you today and you have enjoyed this session.